What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over Samson Dauda, and I'm going to be telling you exactly why I think he only came in 4th place this year. Obviously, last year, he was the Mr. Olympia champion, and I think many others, had him predicted to repeat. So I'm going to be going over exactly what I think went wrong, and again, this is just my opinion. You're totally welcome to disagree in the comments down below. Okay, so when we look at Samson from last year, he brought a I would say his best physique he's ever brought to the stage at last year's Mr. Olympia. But one of the things that, people were saying, and one of the reasons why me and some other people thought Hadi Choopan maybe should have won, was because he was more conditioned. So, Samson obviously still took the win, and it was obviously a close decision, but in the end, the judges went with the size and shape of Samson. But one of the critiques from Samson, from the judges, was, to bring in that Hadi Choopan level conditioning, especially, I think, in the front, like, through the chest and the abs. Like, Hadi was just so much leaner, and in the quads as well. Hadi was just showing a lot more, really from everywhere, even the hamstrings and stuff. So Hadi was just showing more detail, and that was the only thing for the longest time anyway. Even at previous competitions, that was the one thing holding Samson back. He had the size, he had the shape, he didn't really bring the shreds. So for this competition, what I think, and a lot of other people think is happening, is Samson really tried to diet hard for this show. He tried to bring in more conditioning, but what ended up happening was, in the process of trying to get leaner, he probably lost a little bit more size. Now, that's one thing that I think this, could have been, is that he actually lost lean tissue. Now, what I think the more likely thing is I think Samson kind of just missed his peak. We saw this with, like, Derek last year. His quads were really not that full. He didn't really have crazy conditioning, and he kind of looked just quite a bit flat. He really missed his peak. So I think this is similar to what happened to Samson this year. Like, if you look at photos, especially from this year to last year, you can see a noticeable difference in the size and fullness. And I would also argue that he looks leaner in 2024 as well. And I think anyway, and I got this from watching TNF's video, go check out him if you don't already. Guy provides amazing information. Because Samson missed his peak, the muscles weren't as full, so they weren't pushing out on the skin as much. It's kind of like if you take someone who is really, really lean, like my brother is very, very lean, but he doesn't have like crazy amounts of striation. That's because the muscle's not pushing out on the skin, because he doesn't have a lot of muscle, so it's not pushing out, so you don't see those lines. So that's kind of what I think is happening to Samson here. Now, we're gonna see really soon if this really was the problem, because Samson has just announced that he's going to be competing at the Prague Pro. Honestly, Prague this year is looking really freaking stacked. We got Samson Dauda, Martin Fitzwater, Keon Pearson. I believe there's someone else I'm forgetting who's competing at Prague, but it's going to be an exciting freaking lineup. So I can't wait. And I do still think Samson is the favorite to win that show. He's the highest placing Mr. Olympia competitor competing at Prague, so I think he is the favorite. But I do believe that Samson will bring a much better package to Prague, because I really do believe he kind of just missed his peak. He wasn't, filled out as much as he was last year, and that's pretty much why he came in looking really flat. Another area that I think really suffered in particular was the back. Like, if you just look at these two photos of Samson from last year to this year, you could just see the thickness in his back and the width is just not there. And also I think the quads, really, I think it's the quads and the back that were affected the most. Like, if you just look at them, like, compare his quads to Derek this year, Derek, I think, has way better quads than Samson. Like, Samson's quads are kind of like, they kind of go like straight up and down, whereas Derek's looks like it goes, out and in again. So, I do believe he just missed his peak, and he didn't get in those glycogen stores, probably didn't carb up effectively and stuff like that. But you know what? A lot of people are probably going to be like, well, it's probably his coach, but you know what? Shit happens. We saw it with Nick Walker, he didn't peak fully. Derek didn't peak fully last year. And, you can't come in 100% all the time. So while I do think, this probably hurt Samson's confidence and stuff like that, he won the Olympia and stuff like that, and he was expected to be the winner again. I do think next year and at Prague right now, he can easily bounce back for this. And I do think he definitely is, still in the running for a Mr. Olympia contender way down the line and for next year. So that's what I think happened, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think happened with Samson's peak. Do you think he's going to win Prague? Is he going to show up better than ever before at Prague? I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments down below. I had a great conversation actually with one guy in the comments about, Derek on my video, or he's saying Derek got third. And honestly, mad respect to that guy, because he wasn't just coming there to, shit on Derek and shit on my video. He actually wanted to have a nice productive dialogue and stuff like that. So if you do leave a comment, if it is a hateful comment, I'll pin it. I don't care. Bring on the hate. It just, it boosts the algorithm and stuff like that. So regardless of the comment, I'll read it, and I always love it. But, if you want to have a real productive dialogue and debate in the comment section, I'm more than happy to do that as well. And I'm always happy to listen to you guys, and maybe I'll change my mind if you guys get a really good point. So that's all I got for you guys today. Again, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.